Hey, Terrence Walton here, and today I want to talk to you about your MLM story and why it's so powerful. It's such a powerful asset to you. And I'm going to start off with a quote, and the quote goes a little something like this: "At the end of the day, people will forget what you said, what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel." Now, that's a Maya Angelou quote, and I think that quote is so powerful in regards to what we're talking about today, because just this morning, I was in the car, and I rarely listen to the radio, but I cut it on, and there was this song that I remember. I was maybe a sophomore in college, and I was going through some things with a girlfriend at the time, and man, that song took me back to some emotions I was going through at the time, and it just made me laugh because of how powerful the song was, in relation to my emotions. And, the stories do the same thing. They drum up those emotions in you. And I'm sure everyone can remember a story from their past, a story someone told them, whether it be funny, whether it's inspirational, whatever it is. But that story always lies with you, and you can pull it out of your hat, at any time. So what I wanted to do here is just talk a little bit about my story, but keep in mind your story can change lives, and I think most people don't realize the power of their story. But I want to talk a little bit about my story. What happened here is I wasn't always an entrepreneur, and I was the complete opposite. My parents, they raised me. They said, go to school, get your degree, work your 30 years, get your retirement, and then you'll be set. And, I thought that. So I did that. And I got to a point in my sales career where I was at the peak of my career. I had been number one for probably about almost 3 years, and I got a promotion. And it's funny because my wife had just decorated our entire house. We had only been in our first house, for a year. And then I come along and say, "Hey, I got a promotion." She's like, "Oh, great. Where is it?" I'm like, "It's in Chicago." And, she wasn't too happy, but we did it. We relocated, sold the house. We moved to the Chicago area, and things were great. I was on cloud nine. We took the office from less than $1 million to almost $7 million in the first year. And, I felt like I had the golden touch. And then, what happened is we wound up building this beautiful house, new construction. Everything was great. And I'm saying all of this, not to brag or anything, but I'm about to prove a point. I'd say maybe about almost 3 years later, I started to hear rumblings because, again, it's real estate, the mortgage industry, and most of you out there are like, "Oh, I know what he's about to say." But I started to hear the rumblings, and those rumblings came in louder and louder and louder, and I was on cloud nine so strong, I didn't want to hear them. So I was like, "Oh, man, they're going to start closing branches." And I didn't want to hear it. I was like, "Well, you know what? I'm number one. Our branch is killing it. They're not going to touch our branch. They may close some other branches, but not ours." So lo and behold, guys came in a blazer. They came in and they said, "Hey, T, you the manager?" I said, "Yes." "Well, here are some boxes. You guys have an hour to get out of this office and pack your stuff up. Once you leave, you can't come back in." So I'm in shock, and then the guy says, "Hey, let's go in this conference room, gather all your people, bring them in the conference room." We go in the conference room. We have a 30-second recording from the CEO apologizing, saying the company's moving in a different direction, and we're going to give you guys 2 weeks severance. So complete shock. So at that point, we all get our stuff together. We're out of the building. We are no longer employed. And I bring all of about 20 employees to my house, which was right down the street. And we sat there and, we cried, we hugged. We didn't know what to do, especially me, because I'm in a new place and I didn't have any family or friends. So long story short, after a while, I wound up grabbing unemployment as I'm trying to, look for my place back in the market, and which was tough because, again, real estate mortgage. I'm trying to support this six-figure income, that I had, and it was not as easy as I thought. So I wound up on unemployment, and I was depressed. It put the biggest strain on my marriage, and just everything was going wrong. And one day, I got up and I said, I got to stop feeling sorry for myself. I grabbed about 2 weeks worth of unemployment checks, which was about $900 at the time. And I went and found a company. I won't say the name, but it was an MLM network marketing company. And I joined at one of the top packages. And that day, I promised myself I would never feel so powerless and have a company just strip everything from my family and I ever again. And that was the day in my heart I became an entrepreneur. So things are obviously much better now, but I carry that. That is a chip on my shoulder. And every time I don't feel like doing something, or, I'm starting to get complacent or I'm procrastinating, I think about that time, because that is a power that I've been slowly gaining back, over some time. So I say all of this just to share my story, number one, but everyone has that power within them. They have their story. Most people are too embarrassed or whatever the case is to tell their story. Everyone wants to be perfect, or, I'm not having any issues. I'm tough, I'm strong. And I'm sure we all are those things, but you don't know the impact your story is going to have on someone else, whether it's MLM network marketing related, whether it's just in general. You can inspire someone. You can do a lot of things with your story. So if you're out there and you've gone through something similar, or even if you haven't, and a story that can, just empower someone else, feel free to share it or tell your story. Because if you don't, you're really being selfish to everyone out there that you can add value to and that you can help. So hopefully you grabbed some value from this. If you did, like, comment, and share it. And as always, I appreciate you stopping by, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot and take care.